not all of you, I believe in love. I believe in it so much that sometimes my aspirations are far too grandiose for my own good. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and to everyone who have loved and lost, this much I can tell you right now, with absolute certainty, to say that a heartbreak is hard is an understatement. This has been broken. But for some reason, with the God that I believe in, no matter who or what he or she is, it has been fixed, and I was made whole again. I would like to share to you the story of my heartbreak. It is not a story of epic proportions or surreal serendipities. It is, in fact, a modern day liaison, lifted straight from the pages of Tinder.
Yes.
So abroad, yes, Tinder.
Love it.
For the not so young people there in the audience, Tinder is an application on your smartphone that you can download where you can find someone right. There's someone right now. Entirely up to you. What an extraordinary place to find a romantic connection in, right? After at least 1,000 struggles, checking profiles, I came across someone I really liked. I supposed that this was the person who ticked all the boxes. Not necessarily the best looking, but charming enough to tickle my funny bone. Kind enough to volunteer and be part of the community. And clever enough to be in the same intellectual wavelength as me and have stimulating conversations with. I dug deep within me to gather the courage to profess my desire. For a while, it was picture perfect. Messages of sweet nothings and gentle affections were shared. My flatmates were beginning to have the suspicion that I was going crazy because I was giggling all the time for no apparent reason. We were about to meet, but as fate would have it, the love affair that I imagined ended before it even began. All of a sudden, my world came crashing down, and there was not a point of escape. Holy guacamole, I was rejected. I was made to believe I wasn't good enough. What's worse, it was not done in person. It was handed to me through text. Never in my wildest imagination, in my wildest nightmares did I think that I would be humiliated. Never in my wildest nightmares did I imagine that I would be humiliated in such an inglorious manner. It wasn't long before horrendous thoughts crept in. I just wanted to evaporate from the face of the earth. The sight of happy people was killing me. I did not want to rain on their parade. But how could they be so happy while I was slowly dying?
Oh, come on, Larry. Come on, buddy.
I was depressed. confidence was shattered. My nerves went through the roof. I lost my mojo that day. And the fire that I thought was on my belly decided to take a holiday. Perfect timing. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had your heart broken?
Yes.
Perhaps you know what I mean. Before it happened, I had no idea it would sting that much. I was always critical of my friends who would cry a river whenever a relationship turned sour. I always thought they were histrionic for acting as if the world had ended, or pathetic for destroying their life just because of a failed romance. Until it happened to me. Ultimately, I became the victim of my own prejudice. Like any challenge in life, however, what did not kill me only made me stronger. After all the tears, the tightness of the chest, the lack of appetite, the woozy state of mind, good grief, I came back to my senses and decided to move forward. But I took to heart all the good things that came out of such an unfortunate event. First, the rejection taught me a lesson on humility. It made me realize that I can't have everything that I want. Ironically, the one thing that I wanted the most was the one thing that I couldn't have. Instead of focusing on my loss, I put my attention to the things that I already have. My family, my friends, my career, my studies, my Toastmasters journey. I am so blessed that I was not contented and erroneously hungered for something so mundane, much to my detriment. Saint Therese, my favorite Catholic saint, through her words from the story of the soul, helped me understand what was going on. The splendor of the rose or the whiteness of the lily do not take the perfume out of a little violet, or the delightful simplicity of the daisy. If all flowers wanted to be roses, nature would lose her springtime beauty, and the fields would no longer be decked out with little wildflowers. In the vastness of the universe, I may just be a little flower. But just like the rose, I matter too. Second, the rejection taught me a lesson on stepping up and becoming a better version of myself. I identified self-destructive patterns, such as starving myself, or binge eating, or total hibernation, or an unlimited glass of scotch on the rocks. I made healthier life choices. I decided to go back to the gym and bring my mojo back. I went back to do the things I used to like doing, such as swimming and running. After all, some people say, looking good is the best revenge. Not that I wanted revenge anyway. Third, the rejection taught me to stay true to myself. By desiring to be liked and craving for distinction, I did things that I hoped would increase my appeal and market value. In the process, I lost touch of who I really am. I let this person change me, and it came to a point I almost did not acknowledge myself anymore. Turning into a phony was my downfall. Good thing I knew early that this was the monster that I needed to overcome to begin to heal. The rejection was indeed a blessing in disguise. And finally, the rejection taught me to love myself. I let go of my insecurities and apprehensions. I took a good look at myself in the mirror, and I tell you what, without being narcissistic, I like the person that I saw.
Yes.
If others could not see that, I can only do so much. The decision is entirely up to them. One day, someone will come, and the pain will all be worth it. Perhaps the magical tale that you have to kiss a few frogs first before you meet the prince is true.
Princess?
But if one day you find that there is no one knocking on your door, that is true. But if one day you find that there is no one knocking on your door, that is fine too. After all, the achievement of your personal happiness begins with you. When you're happy without having to depend on someone, that in itself is victory. I had my heart broken, and I will never forget the emotional enigma and psychological trauma it brought me to. But by being humble, learning to lift up my game, staying true to who I am, and loving myself a little bit more, I would like to think that I have become a better person. The heartbreak I experienced is not the kind of feeling I would wish even to the worst of my enemies. But the pain of a heartbreak is temporary. What comes out of it after having gone through the different stages of grieving, when all the emotions have finally withered, is what matters more. Fellow Toastmasters, I have a challenge for you. Don't afraid to get your heart broken. Trust me, been there, done that. It will only make you a better person. I don't Toastmasters.